If AB's in the chat, ban him. If AB Starkiller is in the chat, ban him.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new Slum Your video. I hope you're having a good day, because I certainly am. Because today's video, we've actually got a decent iDubbbz topic to go over. One with a story, one that shows a bit of promise, and one that I'm actually interested in. But before we get into said topic, please consider leaving a like and subscribing and hit the notification bell. It helps the channel out more than you can know, and it helps me continue to make these type of videos that you all enjoy. But without further ado, let's dive into this new iDubbbz and Anisa topic. Where I want to start the iDubbbz and Anisa journey today, ladies and gentlemen, is with this one tweet where Anisa announces that there's going to be a big announcement soon. You can imagine every single reply on this post was pulling at Anisa and iDubbbz's relationship, predicting that the announcement was going to be Ian's divorce from Anisa, and just a bunch of other hate comments. There genuinely wasn't one genuine reply to this post. But what do you think this announcement was? I'm going to give you just a little bit of time now to comment down below what your thoughts and predictions are for this announcement, or you can just pause the video, but I'm going to put a bit of a countdown on screen. If you guessed that the announcement was making iDubbbz a cuck again, you'd be correct. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this announcement was about her going back onto the fans. In true succubus fashion, I'm announcing my relaunch. You can subscribe now. Lots of photo sets to come. Now, I think this Anisa post is bad enough on its own to post whilst you're still in kind of a controversy with Ethan Klein, right? After your husband went on a podcast and cried about how hard it is to have an online relationship and the backlash that you doing this got him.
You know, I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, fuck, like, it's really hard to be, a couple online.
You know, me and many other people have access to 6 minutes worth of footage of iDubbbz crying over his relationship and the backlash it got, so you know what makes this 10 times better is the fact that iDubbbz actively engaged with this. I love succubi. Sorry to those who have never experienced the love of a succubus. I have no idea why iDubbbz would reply in the first place, let alone with something like this in the middle of a controversy, especially after he's been seen on camera crying over the backlash that, you know, his wife doing this got him and his wife. I just don't know why he'd engage like this. It just seems like the most reckless and chaotic thing possible. So I did what all good people would do, and I quote tweeted this just simply with a video of him crying.
It's just really, it's really hard to be, a couple online.
Now that quote tweet ratioed iDubbbz's original post and went down with him about as well as you'd probably imagine. He ended up blocking me over it. And Anisa's announcement itself was received about as well as you'd probably imagine. It was received with lots of mockery. Nobody supporting her, bigging her up for this decision. It's just a lot of mockery and people saying this is clearly a desperate attempt to get some cash. And I mean, this genuinely has not gone down well with Anisa whatsoever. It's very clearly immediately got to her, and she's made some pretty choice tweets. 90% of the fun of continuing to be online is getting these losers to foam at the mouth of any time I do anything. They never figure it out either. This tweet, by the way, is the biggest load of shit and cope I've ever fucking seen. You can act like you're in on it, and you know, you kind of do these announcements and come across a certain way online to try and get these people to foam at the mouth and get people annoyed and outraged, and that's all fun for you. You can act like that if you want, but we all know that's simply not the case. People writing paragraphs in my replies proving my point, lol. I struck a nerve. So I think you've got that the wrong way around, because I think it's pretty clear that people have struck one of your nerves because of the way you're reacting. These tweets, these posts, these code posts, they're absolutely hilarious. It's very clear that this has immediately got to you. The reality is, being an apathetic, racist, angry loser online is only good for quick internet points and nothing else. So you have to stay online in your echo chambers so you don't face the reality that no one likes you aside from the other faceless chuds. That's why you're so obsessed with us. You don't want that to be the case, but it is. Eventually you will eat each other for attempting to pursue happiness later on, and most of you will cower back into your nasty internet holes. You're mad we crawled out and you can't. Sorry, Anisa, nobody's mad that their partner isn't taking lewd photos of themselves and uploading it on the internet for them to get absolutely mogged by their own partner. Nobody is jealous or mad of your relationship with iDubbbz. I think most people would rather jump off a cliff than have the relationship that you have with your partner. People aren't jealous, people aren't mad at you for your relationship, people are just shitting on you and critiquing you. Suck it up and stop living in this fantasy world. From user Mail Slayer, he's promoting you, let's go. go. Anisa responds with, that's fucking awesome. Just had to make the incels mad enough to put it on his Reddit, lol. And follows up by saying, I think you're a self-centered bum loser. Am I an incel too? Anisa then responds by saying, no, you're just too parasocial to realise you're surrounded by radical alt-right incels. For one, I don't know why she's bringing up radical alt-right incels here, because it simply doesn't matter. Somebody can critique you by saying you're self-centered without having to critique them or realising that they're surrounded by those type of people. This is the most nothing critique ever. You are just pulling keywords out of your arse to try and inflate your point. And as well, it's not parasocial to think you're a bum loser or self-censored. To just cap off this amazing Anisa section, I just want to play this clip from one of iDubbbz's streams, which is just so relevant here.
Did you really take your wife's last name? Absolutely. And I hope that one day you love someone enough that having a different last name isn't, I don't know, doesn't make you sad or something.
It's okay, iDubbbz, smile and giggle through the pain, but we all know that you are still crying on the inside. I mean, actually, iDubbbz is kind of crying on the outside as well on his streams. He is often actively now responding to people who are simply trolling him and taking the piss out of him. Just take a look at this clip.
Dustin Bowles says, your tats are so cool and original. I'm going to assume, since as a first-time chat, you're being sarcastic. Well, I'll lay some facts on you, Dustin. They're not meant to be original. Not everyone who gets tattoos is trying to be the most original person on the planet.
Why are you responding to this point and trying to actively deconstruct it? Somebody's taking the piss out of your tattoos. Read the chat if you want to. Move on. Don't read it out aloud. Don't rise to it. What are you doing? You look fucking mental.
You know, if someone wants to, like, fill their house with a bunch of fucking, like, unique shit, then they should just make it all themselves. But it'll probably end up looking like shit because they're not an artist.
After he finishes that point, his brain just shuts down and he just stares off into the distance for several seconds, saying absolutely nothing. The next thing I want to move on to, aside from iDubbbz's insecurities and Anisa, probably his biggest insecurity, is boxing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, Dad, who was meant to be fighting in Creator Clash 3, has called out iDubbbz to a boxing fight.
I would consider that, Elijah. You know, it's one of those things where fucking I don't plan on ever running a boxing event again. So, you know, if there is an opportunity to box in the future, just only worrying about fucking myself would be great.
I do love that iDubbbz says that, because it's been made very apparent that iDubbbz has absolutely hated boxing. So again, he's just lying through his, like, weird fucked up teeth.
Do I have good news for you, Ian? Because I know for a fact that Misfits would love to have Creator Clash boxers boxing on a Misfits card. I've been talking to them for months, and apparently there's going to be a US card with a lot of Creator Clash boxers on it. I've personally been putting Creator Clash boxers in touch with Misfits. I've been sending DMs, group DMs, forwarded messages, forwarding emails to Misfits from all the Creator Clash people who want to box, who wasted their time training and didn't get to do it after you put out your stupid video, myself included. So if you'd like me to help you get in contact with Misfits, I would love to help another former Creator Clash boxer get a fight. And the fight I think you should have would be against me.
Look, I don't want to be rude to Dad, but I don't think anybody wants to see iDubbbz versus Dad. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty funny because iDubbbz would definitely lose, and it would kind of be like an iDubbbz versus the rest of Creator Clash type thing, and I think that would be pretty funny. But I honestly think that Dad should just kind of move on from any boxing things to do with iDubbbz and just focus on his future boxing career if that's something he wants to pursue, or any other projects he's got in the pipeline. I think he should just honestly leave the iDubbbz stuff there. I know you can 100% say that I'm being hypocritical there because I've made so many goddamn videos on iDubbbz and Creator Clash over the past few months, but I honestly just think that Dad should move on, try something else, and leave iDubbbz and all that mess in the past.
Who better to box than Dad? Because you and I are the same height and the same weight, and we got pretty much the same experience. So I think it would be an amazing fight. Then you could get a paycheck, you could promote a charity, you could do whatever you want, and I could get retribution for wasting my time training for 8 months straight for absolutely nothing. I haven't boxed or trained or worked out in about 3 months, so I'd be pretty much starting from scratch, much like you, I'm guessing. So if you want to do it, let me know, post it on the internet, get in touch with Misfits. I've already talked to them and sent them a message about this. I think it would be huge. I think a lot of people would love to see Dad versus iDubbbz.
Now look, I think iDubbbz is an absolute idiot, but I just can't see him taking the bait here and actually wanting to fight Dad. I think that'll just bring up too much Creator Clash stuff and getting way more backlash. I honestly just don't think he will do it, but of course, if he does, I've said that Dad should probably just leave the iDubbbz stuff in the past, but of course, you all know that I will milk it to absolute shit.
So I realized he blocked me on Instagram, and I was like, really? What? Why is he blocking me when I never say anything bad? I guess he just blocked everyone who like came out like with frustration towards him and Anisa and blocked me. But I don't think Anisa blocked me because I still see her stories appearing in front of me on Instagram. But then I told Harley, and Harley was like, oh, he blocked me on everything, like all social media. He blocked Harley. But Harley was a little more vocal and a little more insulting. That's like Harley's thing. I was like, this is really weird that he actually blocked me. But maybe he did it when I called him out. Anyway, I would like to box him because it would be a good match because we're the same height, same weight, same experience. And he went like all those rounds with Dr. Mike. I have the intensity. I think I could do similar against Dr. Mike. I don't know if I'd win, but I think I could have the mentality like he has. So I think we'd be a good match.
Very much seems like this is something that Dad wants to pursue, but I still genuinely don't think that iDubbbz will engage with this, especially as he's got the guy blocked. I know that iDubbbz is dumb, but I think iDubbbz, even though he is dumb, realizes that this is probably something that he doesn't want to engage with. But to round off the video, I just want to leave you all with this most recent clip from iDubbbz's stream, and it's actually to do with Creator Clash.
Oh, blessed be Ginger Pale's in the chat. Everyone, tell Ginger Pale he's awesome, and what else? Yeah, just that he's awesome. Thank you for being here, dude. Also, fellow Canadian. I'm not Canadian yet, but, you know, with time I will eventually be. Ginger Pale has some very awesome animations on YouTube. You should check it out. And Ginger is one of the competitors who was going to fight in Creator Clash 3. He trained really hard, and maybe one of these days he can beat me up. And that would be cool.
Come on, beat me up, go on. I think it's genuinely insane though how many people got screwed over by Creator Clash, got screwed over by iDubbbz, Anisa, and all of the stuff that went on there, and people still that are, you know, coming out, and people that actually got affected that we had no idea about. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's Slub Meal video. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and please feel free to comment down below your thoughts. I'd be very interested to see what you have to say about iDubbbz and Anisa, especially for this video. And I can definitely see them continuing on maybe a bit of this Spurg pipeline, so we probably will have more follow-ups in the future, so don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss them. But I've been your host Samuel, I've been covering this slop pick, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video. Goodbye.